Hello, BBN. Pope's recruitment is insane. Now there's Jordan Smith Jr., who has Kentucky on the list of possible teams for him. Could this guy land with the Wildcats? Let's analyze. Even amidst the adversity and competitiveness of the major conferences, the name of Jordan Smith Jr., a rare gem in the 2026 class, emerges as a symbol of Pope's potential to bring to Lexington. Although recent reports point to a reduction in Smith's list of schools, with Louisville out of running, Kentucky remains firmly in the Final Six, fueling fans' hopes. Smith, a versatile point guard, is considered the third-best prospect in his class by rivals, which already speaks volumes about his talent. However, what makes this story even more intriguing is the pre-existing relationship between him and Mark Pope. During the USA minicamp earlier this summer, Smith had the opportunity to be coached by Pope, an experience that appears to have left a deep mark on the young player. He was a very easygoing guy. I love Mark Pope, Smith told journalist Joe Tipton. This early connection between coach and athlete is a crucial factor that could tip the scales in Kentucky's favor in the decision-making process. The synergy created between Smith and Pope during the Team USA training camp cannot be underestimated. It wasn't just a matter of tactical learning or technical development. It was also an opportunity for Smith to closely observe Pope's leadership style. A coach who can balance authority with a human approach tends to create lasting bonds with his players, and that seems to be exactly the case here. When Smith mentions wanting to see how Pope leads his team to the national championship, it's clear the coach left a positive impression, planting seeds of trust and admiration. Furthermore, Smith's impressive performance this past summer is worth highlighting. His performance at the FIBA U19 World Cup, where he helped the United States win the gold medal, demonstrates his ability to shine on the international stage. He wasn't just a supporting player on this star-studded squad, but a consistent contributor, averaging solid 8.4 points, 2.7 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. His field goal percentage, 54.5% shooting, reflects the efficiency and instinct that make him such a coveted prospect. On the Nike EYBL circuit, Smith took his game to another level. Competing for a team takeover at the prestigious Peach Jam, he proved to be a true offensive engine, averaging 20.4 points, 7.4 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and even 1.8 blocks per game. Numbers like these aren't just statistics. They represent the versatility and direct impact Smith can have on any team he joins. For a program like Kentucky, known for developing talented players into stars ready for the next level, the prospect of having someone like Smith is exciting. Another factor that reinforces the optimism surrounding the mutual interest between Smith and Kentucky is the personal effort made by Pope and his assistant, Alvin Brooks III. The duo not only regularly attended Smith's games in recent months, but also made visits to his home this spring. This kind of personal contact is crucial in modern recruiting, especially when it comes to a player with as many options as Smith. By demonstrating commitment and attention to detail, Pope is proving that he sees Smith not just as a player, but as a central piece of his vision for the program's future. Kentucky's inclusion on his final list of 6 schools, alongside giants like Duke, Arkansas, Georgetown, Indiana, and Syracuse, is a victory in itself. And the official visit schedule for October, coinciding with the iconic Big Blue Madness, offers a unique opportunity for Smith. Knowing Pope will be there to guide him through this experience, it's hard not to imagine the young point guard will come away impressed. While it's impossible to predict Smith's fate with certainty, there are compelling reasons to believe Kentucky has a good chance of landing him. The combination of a strong personal relationship with Pope, the program's winning tradition, and Lexington's vibrant environment creates an extremely attractive package. We hope he comes. The Kentucky Wildcats were selected as one of 12 contenders for the 2025-26 national title, according to the respected field of 68. However, for the fervent BBN, 7th place on the list is enough, and rightly so. With the inspired leadership of Mark Pope, who carries within him the memory of a national title as a player in 1996, the Wildcats aren't just a team with potential. They're a force that should be at the top of projections, ready to hang that long-awaited ninth banner at Rupp Arena. The college basketball scene is heating up, and Kentucky finds itself at the center of an electrifying narrative. Rob Doster on the DTF podcast on the field of 68. After dark, positioned Purdue, Houston, and Florida as elite trio, but just below, in the second tier, Kentucky shines brightly. With a roster led by talents like Otega, Owa, and Jalen Lowe, the Wildcats not only belong in the conversation of favorites, but have all the elements to dominate it. They're 7th overall seed and 2nd in the competitive SEC, behind only Florida. Underestimates what Pope is building in Lexington. This is a team that combines explosive youth, tactical expertise, and a hunger of a program that lives to cut down the net. Mark Pope, in his second year at the helm, has brought renewed energy to the team. Far from being just a coach in transition, Pope is a creative architect, shaping a roster that reflects his vision of basketball: fast, smart, and relentless. Otega Owa, with his versatility and ability to impact both ends of the court, is the type of player who embodies Pope's style, aggressive yet calculated. Jalen Lowe, praised by John Fauna as one of the team's standouts, brings quiet leadership and a cerebral game that elevate the group. These two form the core of a squad that, contrary to what projections might suggest, isn't just in the second tier, but ready to challenge the giants. The story becomes even more compelling when considering the web of rivalries connecting Kentucky, Arkansas, and Louisville, as Fauna points out. And Arkansas, now with Calipari, the former Wildcats coach, carries the weight of a shared past with Lexington. Louisville, led by Pat Kelsey, reignites a rivalry that makes BBN's blood boil. For Kentucky fans, these aren't just matches. They're battles for supremacy, for history, for bragging rights. And at the center of it all is Pope, a Kentucky native who understands the Wildcats. Now, in his second year, the excuses are over, as Fauna rightly observed. Pope isn't just building a team, he's forging an identity. Kentucky plays with an intensity that reflects the passion of its fans, with a defense that suffocates and an offense that flows with surgical precision. The depth of the roster, combined with Pope's ability to bring out the best in his players, makes the Wildcats more than a top 12 team. They're a team that can and should be considered number one. Analyst Terrence Oglesby's mention of Indianapolis as the promised land adds a poetic touch to the journey. The Final Four, hosted at Lucas Oil Stadium, is just a short drive from Lexington, both geographically and metaphorically. For the Wildcats, getting there is not just a possibility, but a mission. While Purdue, Houston, and Florida may top the initial projections, Mark Pope's Kentucky has something rankings can't measure. So, Otega, Owa, and Jalen Lowe are just the most visible faces of a squad brimming with potential. Pope's ability to combine talent, strategy, and passion puts the Wildcats on a trajectory that transcends the 7th seed. Rooting for the champions. Talking about Hardley Gilmore, the offseason was marked by intriguing roster movements, but few were as symbolic as Gilmore's journey, a reflection not only of the spirit of turnover in modern college football, but also a reaffirmation of the strong bonds between athletes and programs that genuinely care about them. Gilmore, who initially left Lexington for Nebraska, returned to Kroger Field after just 2 weeks of spring training with the Cornhuskers. His decision to come back to Kentucky wasn't just strategic. It was deeply emotional, as he made clear during the Wildcats' recent media day. Everyone here is authentic. I love being a Wildcat. It wasn't just a football team to me. It was a family, the young receiver said. That statement echoes something bigger. The special connection between Mark Stoops' program and his players, which often goes far beyond the lines of the football field. Gilmore's previous season was cut short by a clavicle injury, limiting him to just 6 receptions, 153 yards, and 1 touchdown. Still, Those modest numbers don't tell the full story. The freshman flashed moments of brilliance that excited both fans and analysts about his potential. Now, with Barion Brown and Dane Key no longer on the roster, Gilmore emerges as a key figure to fill the gap left by those experienced playmakers. Bush Hamdan, Kentucky's offensive coordinator, seems to see something extraordinary in the young receiver. Speaking at the media event, Hamdan was emphatic in praising Gilmore's qualities. "He really knows how to play," the coach stated. "It's all going to depend on his level of focus. It'll come down to him understanding that the game extends beyond the field." Hamdan's confidence is notable, as words carry real weight. He doesn't just see Gilmore as a player with room to grow. He sees someone whose ceiling might be nearly limitless. "I think the sky's the limit for him," Hamdan added, in a comment that feels like a genuine vote of confidence. The young receiver will have the chance to prove his worth at a crucial moment for the program. With the 2025 season fast approaching, all eyes will be on how he adapts to a leading role in the Wildcats offense. Moreover, Gilmore's return also reflects Mark Stoops' philosophy as he continues to build a resilient and tight-knit team in Lexington. Known for his ability to develop talent and foster a family-like atmosphere within the program, Stoops clearly struck a chord with Gilmore. The fact that the young athlete chose to return to Kentucky, even after briefly joining another high-profile program, speaks volumes about the impact of the Wildcats culture. As the season progresses, Gilmore's production will be closely watched. He'll have the opportunity not only to solidify his place in the starting lineup, but to become a central figure in Kentucky's offensive scheme. If he can translate the potential Hamdan has highlighted into consistent performance on the field, the future of Kentucky football looks even more promising. Here's to hoping the 2025 football season is the best yet. Share your thoughts on the Wildcats.